I've been holding this in forever. Red-haired Shanks, the one-armed man, the captain of a Yonko crew.
Please tell me you were still recording that.
Yes, it's
Yes!
That's going to be our opener.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Yonko Podcast, where we are going to be making our predictions for One Piece chapter 1076. Who wants to start?
Burke.
Ah, sweet. Because actually, I kind of have an idea.
I knew it.
So, my two big ones, next chapter, just straight up gonna begin with Lucci and Kaku. We're gonna find out what Luffy and Zoro's answer is gonna be. It's most likely going to be yes, because I don't see why he would even bother putting this out there if it wasn't going to be a yes from them eventually. So, that being said, I don't know if we'll get to see them quite in action, because I do think it will cut away as soon as they are released. If they are released. If anything, it's going to be kind of like what just happened, where Luffy's going to have to save their asses from another, S-Bearer explosion attack. And then they'll get them out, and then it'll cut away. I'm calling that right now. My other big call, and this is just because based on the last two chapters, we've been getting this mystery of, like, who's giving them orders and what's going on in the lab. I think the end of next chapter will give us an idea of who is causing the shenanigans, whether it be a clone of St. J. Garcia Saturn that has been in the basement this whole time, or,
Or someone else.
in World of Warcraft, getting real stinky.
I'm talking, guys. I'm Jay Garcia.
And this is his revenge. Because the bandwidth has stopped.
Don't turn on me, my TV.
Anyway, no. I do believe that the next chapter will end with the reveal of who is causing shenanigans. Yes, Alex.
Green blood is Mountain Dew. Called it.
Get your hand off me. It's already off me. I don't know why I said that. Anyway. I think otherwise there may be some minor cutaways. Specifically either to Garp, Kizaru, or the Vivi situation. I'm not as sold on those. Those are just other random filler things that I think could happen. The other thing that could happen is based on Alex's, if you watched our actual review of the chapter, we did have ideas of maybe possible matchups for our groups that are scattered across the Labostratum. So we could definitely start to see those coming into view. Yeah. I want there to be memory pensive moment with Bonnie. And I'd really like to know where Vegapunk is. I don't think I'm going to get that one next chapter.
He's issuing the commands.
Please, God, no.
Evil punk.
I'd actually be very sad. So, yeah. Oh, one cutaway I think we will actually get now that I think about it. We might get a little bit more what's going on with Kuma going up the red line, trying to scale it.
I forgot we were doing that. That's going on, too.
I think we'll just get another flash of that if we also get the Bonnie stuff. Because, yeah, I think those are very interconnected, what she is finding about him and what he, in real time, is going through. So, those are all of my predictions.
Brock.
Yes, Alex?
Your predictions, please.
Yes, quite, yes. Oh, man.
First part of
Memories. Well, I think...
Thank you, cats.
Of my days
it's hard to think.
I know I made you watch that movie like 2 nights ago, and shut up.
Rum Tum Tiger.
Is a curious cat.
Brock, what do you think?
Touch me.
Backhand both of you.
I should make all of this bleeped. That would be amazing. We're just saying obscenity for fucking minutes.
All right. So, honestly, I think this, because you know how One Piece tends to go, tends to be pretty roundabout in terms of setting up its fights, right? What?
Nah. You're right. Though.
So it's very possible that these aren't like the full-fledged matchups. What tends to happen is like, oh, shenanigans ensues everywhere, which way, and then we've all arrived where we actually need to be.
So you're saying it will be the opposite of like Aeneas Lobby, for example?
No, it's the same as Eddie's Lobby.
No, but they will swap.
Because remember, Eddie's Lobby, they all started with a lot of them started with different people.
Right.
But then they got switched around. Like, say, Zoro had Usopp as a sword, and after he got freed, and Sanji and Khalifa got defeated, Sanji got freed, he was able to fight Jabra.
Oh.
And so what I'm thinking is, like, it's going to be, like, the usual turnaround, where it's like, okay, maybe this group isn't, like, suited to fight this person. Oh, here comes an actual strong person to fight that person.
True. Okay. Okay.
So I think we'll still be in the midst of some pre-fight shenanigans where they're blasting them, and they're like, oh, crap. And then we'll start setting up the real fights.
If I may...
You may.
It's interesting that they are on top of each other in terms of the floors. Breaking through one floor could provide an access way to the floor above, below, etc., allowing for that mix-up.
Yarp. And then so there's the matchup type deal. I don't think we're gonna get our full matchups yet. And honestly, I'm not fully convinced that. I don't know. It feels the Seraphim feel different in terms of like opponents, not because I think they're like the strongest thing I've ever faced, but like I feel like they're not going to be full antagonists, if that makes sense. So there's that, and then I do think we could possibly get. I think we might get a continuation of Luffy Zoro reaction. Or it might do the other One Piece thing, or just general media thing, where it'll cut away from that, it'll go to other stuff, and then near the end of the chapter, it'll be like, Luffy and Zoro like, you sure you want to do this? He's like, because that could easily be continued at the very end, and could be continued right in the next one. Would you like to share with the class, you two?
No.
Do I need to come sit between you?
Yes.
No.
No, we're good. Anyway, continue, bro.
Grown men.
Where?
That's what I'm wondering.
Fair.
How come? Never mind. Anyways, but yeah. So there's that. I'm not so sure about big reveals, just because I don't think there's necessarily any big reveals that need to happen yet. Because like I said, Saturday figures. I think they're the Seraphim. I think we might find out why they've gone against everyone. Like whatever power or whatever influence it is. Still not convinced that it's a Vegapunk. I'm currently convinced that it is a special transmission type thing or power on account of the Elder. Because I don't currently think the Elder and Kizaru are on the island, but I do think that the whole point is to one of the points is to get him within a certain range of the Seraphim.
They're just shouting.
Hey!
Hey! Fucking kill those CP0 bitches!
That's the...
What's your name? Ezekiel!
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
You're a fucking...
What?
Anyways,
You haven't seen the video, I'll leave it in the comments.
Oh god. Anyways, so yeah, that's where I stand in terms of the mysterious figures, all that shenanigans. Let me just make sure I'm double checking. I would love to see
Those organs do.
The way you were sitting, you look like that kid with the vein popping out.
I had that earlier. You should have seen my face.
I'd love to see.
What, bro?
I'm actually intrigued by Boa's smile.
Oh,
Boa's smile.
It's a very S-snake smile.
S-snake
yeah,
smile.
but
I
knew
Baby Boa.
It's a very knowing smile. It could just be a smile of confidence, but something about the look she's given him just feels like not straightforward.
Can I ask you a question, bro?
I'm not a lolicon.
No.
Okay, what's your other question?
Do you think that maybe, and it's only because you said that about S-Snake,
Yeah, go ahead.
I've even had the thought.
Do's it.
Do
Ask
you
it.
think that perhaps S-Snake is in fact trying to help the punks by stoning them over and rescuing them?
Honestly, like, not necessarily that, but the thought that she might be pretending has occurred to me.
Because by all means, she could just
Because
blast them
it's
through.
just like, when there's like, and it could very much just be like, oh, epic close up on her face going from like this to a smile.
Sure.
But I don't know. It's a very mysterious smile, and I'm still holding to the thought that because she shares genes with Boa, there might be some familiarity there. But who's to say? It could have just been like a smile of confidence.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
I'm ignoring whatever you're doing over there.
It was an Addams Family reference. Don't mind
Don't
me.
tell me what it was.
You should know.
Just make sure I've got
Look like
everything. I definitely don't think, and this is my last thing, I definitely don't think the fight between, or the supposed fight between Luffy and Zoro and the other two is going to be so cut and dry.
Easy?
I think there will be running around. I think there will be attempting to get the shackles off. Because one thing Oda does that basically no other artist or like mangaka does
Really?
is when it comes to, what do you mean really?
I thought I already heard your point and said really.
What he does that no other mangaka tends to do that I've seen, especially among like the big mangaka.
Okay.
Is that in the midst of battles, in the midst of stories, comedic timing and strange happenstance legitimately push the plot forward. Yep. They're not there just for comedy relief. Like Enies Lobby, when I just rewatched that a while back, freaking the child Chimney, she was literally instrumental in making sure the Straw Hats got to where they needed to be. And she found that shit by accident.
You're not wrong.
I love Chimney.
So...
What?
You don't.
Yeah.
Love Chimney.
I like Chimney.
She
and
hates.
Gombe.
She hates Kokoro. She hates the monster grandma.
Kokoro's the one. You hate.
And even then, I don't hate her as much as actually Wobble. I think is my least favorite.
That's
One
fair.
Piece character ever.
But yeah, so I think there's gonna be a lot of that shenanigans there. I think we gotta just going by those wonderful disgusted looks at the beginning that he's still gonna insert his signature One Piece humor that will help push everything forward while keeping the stuff that needs to be serious.
Certainly. I agree.
And that's it for me.
Kat.
Okay. Before I get too far into it,
You had a point.
I did. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, okay. So, on Baby Boa kind of trying to help Straw Hats, I'm trying to think what were the last commands given. Was she... was it just a blanket, like, Seraphim's attack? Or I feel like she was told something else.
The last one she was given was nothing to... Well, no.
Like on a...
Destroy the Slabostratum.
Wasn't she...
So she's destroyed it.
Right.
So now is she just kind of now unassigned to do what she wants?
I know what you're talking about, though, because...
That it could be that she might not actually have a direct order anymore it's kind of just a general, so she can have that kind of personal spin on like her justice in there, if she has some sort of free thought, which I feel like she does based on some of her comments and the way she's acted in the past, that maybe she is pretending, or maybe it's, I don't know, like, are they all under the same, so like the...
Because I doubt they share the same
Vegapunks, yeah. So the Vegapunks all kind of share the same mind, so if one of them's, like, given an order, the rest of them will know what the order is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Seraphim have that telepathic
order
sharing.
They always give them their orders via voice and when they're around them.
Mm-hmm. So there's that. Okay. But as to what I think is going on... I think... if they're already acting issued by Vegapunk, are the Seraphim actually going after the Straw Hats right now? We know they're in the same room, but are they actually going after the Straw Hats, or did Stella Vegapunk tell them to attack CP0?
And misunderstanding.
That... because they're all kind of in the same area, they're going after CP0, and Straw Hats are just, like, collateral damage.
You know, Vegapunk, does he know that CP0's been defeated and captured?
I don't think so.
No.
So,
pretty sure no.
I mean, wouldn't it be just their luck if he, thinking he was helping, sent them after CP0, and the Straw Hats just happened to get in their way?
That, I see that as being the most likely, like, most One Piece type thing.
My only issue with that, while it would be funny and, like, it would make some sense, the only issue I have with that is, how did the shield go down in the first place?
Well,
the one that let CP0 in.
I'm still blaming that on another person. I don't know who yet. Like I said, I'm not currently suspicious of the Vegapunks. I'm still working under the impression that there's someone or somebody related to people not on the island yet that is affecting it. But, and like I said, I think each of the people can be given, the Seraphim can be given different orders.
If I may add some context to this conversation, as I've been doing some researching. The last thing that Sentomaru said to them was, if I may, S-Bear specific, get rid of those suits, which just meant all of the CP agents wearing suits, including CP0. Then... let's move. S-Snake, lead the Straw Hats to the vacuum rocket and see them safely through the Frontier Dome. S-Hawk, S-Shark, suppress CP0. Interestingly, S-Shark is not the one suppressing CP0 in the latest chapter. It's S-Bear.
And S-Hawk.
And S-Hawk.
But also...
that leads me to believe that Sentomaru's commands no longer hold, since... they've kind of been swapped out.
Ish?
Well, it's kind of hard to say because, like, S-Bear's was very general.
S-Bear, take out the suits.
Take out the suits.
Where's Stussy?
She's with Sanji and
so not
Jinbei.
Okay, so because Stussy is considered CP0,
right?
Jinbei could be going after her. That
interesting point.
Suits CP0 could be considered suits as well. That S-Bear took out the low-level suits, and so now he's joining the CP0 suits.
Do you think suppress is too light for what they're trying to do now? Because they did say they were kind of attacking two down CP agents that couldn't defend themselves. That feels like a kill order to me. I don't know.
I mean, unless they're... because they are now awake-ish? But the fact that Sentomaru is below Vegapunk, that's where it's
because it would have been Sentomaru, then CP0 got control of them again. They came above the Frontier Dome. That all went down with Stussy, and then the Vegapunks got control of them again, which leads me to Shaka's comment, a Vegapunk must be giving them commands.
Unless, again, like we said before, it's out of
The reason
his reason that it could even be a elder, which with Kizaru being on his way to Egghead, I do think that, like, in my mind, here's how I see this going, is that Kizaru and Saturn are close enough to Egghead that Saturn can give commands.
The only thing that makes that weird...
Let me finish
go ahead.
before I lose track. So he's close enough to give commands, and right now the command is take out CP0 since they failed us. At the moment, Garp, being Garp, on his way is since Garp is gonna find out that G14 was going to G14 was going to be going to Egghead. Garp's like, why? Oh, okay, there's something going on. As he goes, he sees the Elder and be like, yo, what's up? And distracts just enough that the Straw Hats are going to be like, Looney Tunes style, oh, look, he's not looking. We're going to, like, slip out the back door and peace out before anyone notices we're gone type of thing.
But they'd still have to take out all of the Seraphim first.
Unless the Seraphim's order was just to take out CP0, in which case, if they let CP0 out, they could just be like, oh, you guys are fighting, we're gonna go away.
I guess so far only the Punks have been targeted, really, and CP0.
Punks and CP0, which Punks we already knew was kind of, that's why we're trying to get all the Punks off the islands, but if Baby Boa is kind of, like, on the fence, kind of following her orders, but not to the, like, maliciously complying with it in a way to help the Straw Hats in that, I don't see this being another huge, big, drawn-out fight. We just got done with Wano. That was a huge, long, intense fight. I don't think the Straw Hat... Like, I don't think it's going to happen that they're going to go up against another big fight. So it's... If there is going to be a fight, it's going to be a quick one that... Either they're going to regain control, sneak out the back, or something. Like, I don't see this being a full-on battle.
So to wrap it around, what do you think's happening in 1076?
I think it's going to move us forward toward, again, One Piece. It could be moving us towards getting Vegapunks off the island. I do think we're going to get a reveal of who's behind the letting down the shield to the lava stratum and all that. Mm. And who's kind of sabotaging all of this. Who the imposter is. I also think it could just completely cut away. Like, there is always that possibility in my mind that we're just going to totally abandon this.
Well, and also, post-Wano, we're getting more cutaways than ever.
Yeah.
And bigger cutaways.
Yeah.
That mean more.
Like, a cliffhanger cutaways, like we
world
need
development cutaways.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, I keep saying this, we might pop over to Sabo. We could pop over to Dragon, see what he's up to. Yeah, I do think, because wasn't the last thing we saw with Dragon was he was talking to Vegapunk, and Vegapunk's like, I think I'm about to die.
Shaka
Bye.
Specifically.
So for all we know, Dragon's moving all of his armies over to be like, no, we cannot let Vegapunk die. We could pop back over to Vivi's, see what's going on there. I would like to see more of Bonnie and Kuma, and Burke, I do think you are correct that those two you said that they are connected, that if we see more of Bonnie, we're going to see more of what Kuma's doing. I think those are kind of going to go hand in hand. Yeah, the only things I feel somewhat sure about is we're going to know for next chapter, we're going to know who's interfering and causing all the mayhem, or is behind the mayhem that is being caused. And we might move towards getting Straw Hats and Vegapunks off the island. But that's... because I have learned, One Piece is so predictably unpredictable. I don't even want to make guesses more than that.
That's fair.
So...
there's so much that just, you can overwhelm yourself thinking about the possibilities.
Oh, yes.
Everybody else has shared theirs.
Indeed. So, I think Brock is very right about our shenanigans, because there will be shenanigans. Certainly. And I think those start with Luffy and Zoro being like, no! Just no! And then they realize they have to keep protecting CP0, because I like your idea, Kat, that they keep going after specifically CP0, and that the Seraphim actually aren't targeting Luffy and Zoro and them, and they're like, fine! But not next chapter. Next chapter, they're just like, no! And then they have to keep saving their asses.
And maybe that's where we find out.
Which is so fucking funny.
Wouldn't it be hilarious? Sorry. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Kaku became Nose Storm 2.0?
Nose Storm 2.0?
Remember when he used Usopp, when Zoro used Usopp as a sword?
Yeah. Oh. It's full fucking circle.
Oh my god.
That would be kind of amazing.
That'd be funny. Anyways.
But yeah, that's good. But I think they're just very useless, and they're actually start to hold back the Straw Hats. And they also have to protect Shaka, because that's the other person they're going after as well. And they're like, shit, we can't do this all together. Cut away. We find enemies for the other groups. I think Stussy, if she's going to turn, as soon as she has Sanji on her side and can take him out and just has to deal with Jinbei next and take him out, that could be quite a turn. So that would be fun. Another enemy for Brook and Nami appears. Could be like S-Shark maybe. Or a reveal of another Seraphim we had not even considered. That'd be crazy. We find someone that attacks Robin and Chopper's group as well. Again, not targeting Straw Hats. Just the punks they're with. And that's what makes the fights kind of interestingly, like, weird.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, you're going to be fighting me. And they're like, dude, what? Stop attacking the weak punks.
And that's what happened when they first met them. So.
Right. It's a lot harder to fight an enemy that is trying to avoid you to get to what you're trying to protect. Next.
It's not engaging with you, essentially.
Exactly. That's just trying to get around you. And they are very fast. Mm-hmm. You know, that is literally what they can go into that speed mode that King could do. Mm-hmm. So they could prove very challenging in that way. Next, we see Kizaru and Saturn again, and this is just my headcanon. They are not involved whatsoever, plunging us into even more mystery of what the fuck is happening. And then, my final prediction for next chapter, Law. ...
Dead?
That's where we could pop away to as well. I forgot about that.
I will not say. I will just say we get a Law update, and I can lose this hat.
Or we could pop away to Kid and Elbaf, and which means Elbaf is relatively close to Egghead as well.
Absolutely.
Saul.
Here's my thing.
Yes.
If we pop over to Kid, in my headcanon, Kid's gonna be like a gag flash. He's in prison again. He's lost another arm. And he's like... I can see that.
And Luffy has to save his ass.
I know.
Okay.
He's a serious character. That's why Oda gags on him.
Okay, another prediction I have. I think...
Gags on him.
Just so that we can know maybe for sure-ish, my guess is Lilith, or maybe one of the other punks, states how many Seraphim there are as of right now.
That'd be helpful.
That way, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Lilith has already said, we designed them to be the strongest. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't someone be like, how many of them are there? I think that's an easy enough
someone should ask, because no, she's not gonna tell without.
No,
being
she's not gonna think to offer that information on her own, but and I think it might be Frankie that asks. If I had to take a guess, it's gonna be Frankie
Could you
that
just
asks.
tell us what we're facing for crying out loud?
Because I don't think Usopp is coherent enough right now. He's just like, we're getting attacked. And that's all he's worried about. Frankie at least is like, we're getting attacked. How many should we be worried about? He at least has that little bit of tact.
Let us know.
Thought. Yeah. All right. Again, thanks for watching. If you enjoy this, like, comment, subscribe, interact with us, and we will try to interact back where we can. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Foxy for the win.
1076.